Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I'm kicking off my reviews of the Deluxe Wave 3 figures with the Turbo Blue Senturion figure, a figure that I am very hyped for. So I got this from Entertainment Earth alongside his Wave partner, which is In Space Silver with the Silver Cycle, and if everything's going the way that I want it to, this video should be out on the Tuesday of this current week, and then the next one should be out on Thursday of this current week. So I'm breaking the video schedule a little bit to give you reviews of these two guys here. And this is a fantastic figure. Mine has quality control problems, so we're going to get to that with the video because it's a new Lightning Collection release, so of course the figure's not going to be what is advertised or what you're hoping to pay for, which is how these typically go at this point, unfortunately. However, with that in mind, and I'm a little upset about that, clearly, this does not detract from how good of a figure this actually overall is. And it might even be one of the all-time best Lightning Collection figures that we have ever had. So let's go ahead and get into it here. So this is an interesting deluxe release because it is obviously at the deluxe price point of $33.99 and also in the deluxe box size, but it is just a standard Lightning Collection figure. I feel like they probably could have gotten away with this at maybe the exclusive price point of $27.99-ish, but I don't mind it at the deluxe price point because of all the new molding and the really good paint applications that you get here. And this is kind of our first time getting a sort of standalone figure that isn't a monster or of course a ranger with a bike or something like that. So it's also our first time that we've actually had Turbo written on a box, which is very nice to see because we had the Phantom Ranger in Wave 10 back in 2021, and that one was labeled as In Space, as we all know. So it is nice to see them finally actually dive into Turbo with the Blue Senturion, and this goes very nicely with your Phantom Ranger figure, which we'll take a look at here towards the end of the video, if you have that one. So here's the Blue Senturion here. Obviously with the render, you can just see all of the fantastic paint applications and pinless joints and detailing on here. They really went above and beyond with this guy. I'm very happy with it. Here's a good closer look at his artwork, which is really nice looking as well. I think it captures the look of him pretty much absolutely perfectly. Oh, there goes the little safety slot thing that was inside. It just kind of fell out. On the side, which you can't really see at all, but here is the artwork continuing there. And then we'll zoom out a little bit. Spoiler alert, I've already opened him up, so his accessories are over here. But here's the Power Rangers Turbo logo on a Lightning Collection box, which is very nice to see. On the other side, we just get the blue with the Power Rangers Turbo logo, Turbo Blue Senturion. At the top, Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And at the bottom, all the QR codes, or not QR code stuff, but the barcode stuff and all the safety stuff. And on the back, as we've seen with all these other plastic-free packaging figures, we have the render again, which is actually not as big as it is sometimes on the new packaging. And then we have the breakdown of accessories. We can see that he's a 6.6-inch figure, so he is actually a little bit taller than a standard Ranger, but it still works. He's not towering over Rangers like in a monster scale kind of thing. And then as you can see, you have all of his accessories that he's supposed to come with. Keyword supposed to. So let's go ahead and, now that we're kind of done with the box here, bring in the actual figure and go over what happened with mine. So here's the Blue Senturion out of the box with everything that he comes with. And just look at this guy. So, of course, I'm going to be a little negative for a second here with the quality control, which we'll get over as quick as possible, because I really don't want it to detract from how actually very good this figure is. Of all the characters, and I love the Blue Senturion, I love his design, I love that we're getting Turbo figures, he's just a really cool Ranger-looking design, and the fact that they just went so nuts with making this figure, pretty much absolutely perfect, I'm so happy about. But we'll go ahead and start with the accessories here because that's where the quality control problem comes in. And I will say mine is not as bad as some people's are. I've seen a lot of people where they got duplicates of this, or they had the roll and holster swappable pieces or something like that. And also I just realized his blast effect piece isn't here. It did come with mine. I just didn't put it on the table. So there's the blast effect. But the problem that I have with mine is that I got two right holding hands. He's supposed to, and out of the box, he comes default with a fist for both hands. He's supposed to have a left and a right holding hand, and mine came with two right holding hands. However, thanks to the amazing Power Rangers Lightning Collection community that we have here on Toku Topics and on Lightning PR and Twitter, there's somebody who actually got two left hands and needed a right hand, and I needed a left hand. So I think, this just happened 20 minutes ago at the time we were recording this video, I think I'm going to reach out to them and do a little swap, a little trade, so I might be able to actually get that sorted out, which is great, but not everybody's going to have that luck or have that kind of outreach to be able to get something like that fixed. And that's not good. It's just not good that this is something that's happening so consistently now. Think of the fact that like I had quality control problems with my Beast Morphers Yellow, not necessarily my Dino Fury Green. My Time Force Blue had quality control problems. This was a long time ago, but my Ninjas had quality control problems. Now my Blue Senturion does. So it's like nearly every single release at this point, which is just like, get better with this. This is ridiculous. But that aside, now we have a lot of positives to talk about with this because, wow. So let's just go ahead and bring it in. Look at this figure. First of all, I will say, and we'll kind of do a little breakdown of his joints and everything, but he's a pinless jointed figure. He doesn't really have that loose leg problem, which is fantastic. So I'm very, very happy about that. He has like a decent amount of weight to him. He kind of has like this smooth plastic feel kind of all over the place. He feels like a substantial figure. Like I look at this, I kind of hold this and I go, yeah, that is kind of worth the deluxe price point. Like I can see it with this one. This is really good. So like once again, let's kind of look at the helmet. You get the police written there. You have all the lines painted. You get the little antenna. I mean, it's painted like perfectly. It's like so perfectly. And you have the silver there. You have the badge there. You have the translucent red like police siren lights. You get the paint there. It's all nice and clean. The chest is very, very nicely done. You get that texture pattern inside. Look at that. It's so intricately molded and painted. His joints, I think, hide pretty well in here just because of his sort of robotic design. So you do still get the nice torso joint. And you'd even get that little ab crunch in there still, just like any other Lightning Collection figure. But it works. They really got into his design like very nicely. Dennis, always bumping on Twitter, actually, is the one who got to sculpt this figure, and he knocked it out of the park. Like, the shoulder pads maybe don't move, like, they move a little bit to kind of get the arms, out of the way. Actually, pretty good amount, actually, now that I say that. And they're on the arms, too, so they don't limit the movement there, which is fantastic. And I think the double-jointed elbows here look pretty good. I am a little afraid of breaking the joints in on mine. Of course, you might just want to heat it up and stuff like that, but I think the joints look good there. It just, this is great. So as you can see, he has the two fists on default out of the box. And I have, like, no complaints. I can't think of, like, anything that I say is, they missed this paint application or like, that looks kind of wrong or something. Like, no, this is Blue Senturion as an action figure in, like, the perfect possible way you could do it. And even with accessories, too. Like, he wouldn't come with, like, a swappable head or anything like that, of course, so he does have all three versions of his Morpher Blaster. I know this has a name. I want to say it's like I don't remember the name of it necessarily, but it'll be up on the screen. But we have the badge mode of it, which I think is sculpted very nicely, especially with all the little detail there on the sides. On the back, it's just kind of a silver paint there. Of course, that turns into the gun mode, which once again I think is executed perfectly. And you have a little blast effect piece hold there. And you get pretty much the exact same effect piece as you got with Phantom Ranger back from Wave 10, which will go nicely with him. And then it's just one of those ones that has a very tiny plastic piece, so you want to be a little careful attaching it to his gun, but you can do so like that. And I would just say be a little careful trying to remove it because it is such a tiny piece of plastic. And then you also get the sword mode, which because of plastic-free packaging is a little bent, but not too terribly bent. And that's also, I think, painted very nicely as well. Now, you also get one of the tiniest Lightning Collection accessories. I think this is kind of tied with the little containment card that SPD Omega came with. You get this super tiny little whistle for him to summon his Robo Raser, which is just such a cool accessory. I would not have minded if he didn't have that, but the fact that he does is pretty cool. And then the final thing you got is that you get these swappable thigh pieces or holster pieces. So default on him, you can't holster his gun. So what you get is you get this little detachable like piece, and then you can take it, the new one, and clip it in there. And then now you can take his blaster, and actually it might be just for the badge. You can holster it like that. So it's actually meant for the badge mode of this. I think you can kind of pretend, I suppose, to holster it in there like that, but that's the kind of looks weird. But so it's meant basically for like the badge kind of comes out of his leg or something, and you can kind of have it holding like that, and then you get one for either one of his legs. So if you want to have it do that, you can do so on either one of his legs. You just kind of get your nail kind of in there. It's a little tricky to swap the pieces, but not too bad. And then they kind of just clip back in there like that, and you're good to go. So that is pretty much going to do it for the Turbo Blue Senturion figure. But of course, I want to go ahead and bring in his buddy from the show, or kind of the one that's sort of often associated with him, especially in like the finale of In Space with Countdown to Destruction, the Phantom Ranger. So let's go ahead and bring him in. And here they are, the Blue Senturion and the Phantom Ranger. So like I said, they have the same blast effect piece, though I will say the one on Blue Senturion is a lighter orange compared to the one that we had with Phantom Ranger. But these look very good together. I'm very happy to have, I kind of posted them the exact same. I didn't really mean to do that, but very happy to have sort of the two extra Rangers from Power Rangers Turbo, even though he was labeled as In Space for whatever reason. At least his upcoming, still yet to be announced Invisible version has him labeled as a Turbo figure, so we will be getting another Phantom Ranger here pretty soon. But this is really good. I'm very happy with this. And like I said, I was going to do at the beginning of the video, we'll kind of get him back to standing up straight, since he was advertised as a little bit taller of a Lightning Collection figure. Here is the figure you're going to see next, his upcoming Wave Mate, In Space Silver, which is just a typical 6-inch figure. And so as you can see, he's a little taller, but I don't think it's like a bad kind of tall. I mean, even Phantom was actually a little taller than like a typical, Ranger figure was, and I didn't even really realize that until now. So I think that that's not that bad of a scale difference, especially for kind of how he is like a robot and everything. At least it's not a monster where he'd be towering like at least another inch or two above this. So I think that this definitely completely works, and it's a really good little lineup that we have going on here, and I cannot wait to get more Turbo Rangers. And with that, that's going to do it for my video review of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Deluxe Wave 3 Turbo Blue Senturion figure. I definitely can recommend this figure quite a bit. I think for any fans of Power Rangers, or if you want to do a whole Countdown to Destruction display, if you just want Turbo stuff, this is it. This is really, really well done. I think this really shows the power and the kind of opportunities of the Deluxe line to actually give us sort of these more, not advanced characters per se, but kind of more detailed or a little bit more intricate figures that maybe wouldn't really work at the normal price point. And if we can get more figures like this that don't necessarily have to be a monster or have to be a ranger with a vehicle, I'm all here for it. So I can definitely already say, unless like some other crazy figures come out this year, this is definitely a very, very early contender for, if not figure for the year, definitely in the top 10. I don't see there's going to be any way for this to not be in the top 10 of 2023. I think this is a must-have figure. It really shows the strength of the Lightning Collection, firing on all cylinders, and I absolutely love it. So there will be a link to it on Entertainment Earth, where it's in stock right now. It is still listed as an April pre-order date on places like Amazon and Hasbro Pulse and stuff like that, but I also will be including an Amazon affiliate link to it in the description below. If you pre-order it using that listing, or if it goes in stock relatively soon using that listing, that will help out the channel if you use the affiliate link, so that's always appreciated. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LennyFigPR, and I will see you all later. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brandon Overland, Maji Yellow, Redstone MCPC, Comics 1017, James Dartley, Monster Rocket, John Luke, Eric Berry, Tyler Brzezinski, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, and Pyramidas. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, link in the description below.